I'm the biggest Riri fan. Like, I love her.
There's famous, and then there's Rihanna famous. The kind of famous that makes other celebrities completely forget they're celebrities too.
Rihanna.
No level of fame, fortune, or prestige can save you from completely losing your composure when you come face to face with her. We've all watched ordinary people freeze up around celebrities, but nothing quite compares to seeing Hollywood's biggest names short-circuit the moment they're in her presence. These are A-listers who command rooms for a living, and even they can't hold it together. Anne Hathaway is the definition of Hollywood royalty. Oscar winner, Les Miserables, The Princess Diaries, The Devil Wears Prada. Her resume speaks for itself, a career so deeply woven into cinema history that introductions feel unnecessary. So when she landed a role alongside Rihanna in Ocean's 8, this wasn't a fan encounter. These were two professionals sharing the same set, the same scenes, the same screen. Equals, at least on paper. Then Rihanna looked up, threw her a compliment, and Anne Hathaway, decorated actress, Hollywood veteran, completely fell apart. One casual remark from Rihanna, and it was lights out. Co-star status meant absolutely nothing in that moment. Nobody gets a free pass.
Every time she was like, you've got to be on boob watch. And so I just, because, you know, it's definitely something you have to be careful of.
Cara Delevingne is a supermodel, actress, and brand ambassador, someone who has spent her entire career knowing exactly how to carry herself in front of a lens. Cameras are practically her natural habitat. So when a photo surfaced of Cara standing next to Rihanna, let's just say her eyes weren't quite where you'd expect a camera-trained professionals to be. People noticed immediately, and Cara was called to answer for it, live on television, in front of millions of viewers. Her defense? She was simply being a good friend. Honestly, you can't argue with that logic. When Rihanna gives you a task, you see it through. Cara committed fully and stayed professional to the very end. While Anne Hathaway was losing her train of thought and Cara was completing her assignment, Justin Bieber was out here trying his luck entirely. In a candid interview, Justin openly confirmed that yes, he had asked Rihanna out, and no, it did not go the way he hoped. When pressed on what she said, all he could offer was that he wasn't dating her and that maybe in a few years things could be different. Meeting Rihanna apparently rewires something in everyone's brain, whether you're starstruck, love-struck, or somewhere in between. Even the biggest names in the industry aren't exempt. At Paris Fashion Week 2024, Rihanna arrived at the Dior Couture show dressed head to toe in Dior. She didn't just attend the show, she was the show. Then she crossed paths with Natalie Portman, Oscar winner, Harvard graduate, a woman who has portrayed literal royalty on screen. By every measure, someone who should be unshakable. The moment she saw Rihanna, all of that composure evaporated. She was on the verge of fainting, declaring Rihanna an absolute queen, barely holding herself together on a Paris sidewalk. But here's where it gets interesting. Rihanna was fangirling right back, telling Natalie she had been one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood for as long as she could remember. Two icons, one pavement, not a single ounce of chill between them. They wrapped it up with a photo that Rihanna personally dubbed the Queen Shot because she wanted something to remember when she woke up the next morning. Honestly, the rest of us felt the same way. Drake stood at the VMAs and delivered what can only be described as a full public declaration, live, unfiltered, and completely on television. He said everything out loud that most people would keep to themselves, every thought, every feeling, right there for the world to hear. Then again, it's hard to hold it against him. Jim Parsons built an entire career portraying one of the most emotionally detached, logically rigid characters ever written for television. Warmth and nerves weren't exactly part of the role description, but when Rihanna entered the picture, even Sheldon Cooper's real-life counterpart couldn't hold it together. He admitted that her songs kept creeping into his head uninvited, catching himself humming Diamonds at random moments and unable to stop.
I've been doing press for like the past 4 days with Rihanna and Steve, but Rihanna smells so good.
Jim and Rihanna worked together on the 2015 animated film, Home, and while Jim knew of the Rihanna effect, he finally got to experience it himself.
At one point, I took the elevator down to press in the hotel we were doing it, and I went, she was just in here. She was just in here. And they're like, no. And I said, oh yeah.
And then Jim dropped another detail nobody asked for, but everyone appreciated. Apparently, Rihanna has a signature scent. When someone asked him to describe it, he didn't hesitate for a second. Heaven. Just like that, a whole new entry added to the Rihanna Factbook, courtesy of Jim Parsons, a sitcom legend who, somewhere along the way, transformed into someone meeting their celebrity crush for the very first time. Martha Stewart is an icon in every sense of the word, a mogul, the woman who essentially built an empire around the idea of having everything perfectly in order. She has cooked for presidents, she weathered a federal conviction and came out the other side with her composure and her pearls completely intact. And then she met Rihanna. She went straight to Instagram to let the world know that Riri was, in her words, beautiful and statuesque. Martha Stewart, unshakable by almost any standard, posted a full fangirl moment for all to see. If even she couldn't hold it together, the rest of us never had a fighting chance. Lizzo has built her entire brand on confidence. Self-assurance is practically her trademark, yet she openly admitted that Rihanna is the one celebrity who genuinely makes her nervous, the only person in any room who can completely dismantle that confidence without saying a word. At her 2019 BET Awards performance, mid-pose on stage, she glanced into the audience and spotted Rihanna. That was it. She couldn't believe Rihanna was not only there, but actively cheering her on. She even admitted that she uses the classic trick of imagining the audience in their underwear to calm her nerves. But that strategy has one very notable exception. Rihanna is apparently everyone's kryptonite. Also at the 2019 BET Awards was Cardi B, the star of the entire evening, walking in with 7 nominations and walking out with Album of the Year. By any measure, she owned that night. And yet, the moment Rihanna came her way, all of that energy shifted instantly. Cardi B, one of the most commanding presences in music, completely lost her cool. Meanwhile, Rihanna remained absolutely calm, as she always does, essentially watching people short-circuit around her in real time like it's the most normal thing in the world. Back in 2015, Adele was in the middle of her own massive comeback era with 25, and somehow, even in the height of her own moment, she admitted she was sitting on the edge of her seat waiting for new Rihanna music. Then came Rihanna's 2023 Super Bowl halftime show. Adele was right there in the crowd, dancing, vibing, and lip-syncing every single word. In that moment, one of the best-selling artists of all time wasn't a superstar, she was a super fan, and she wasn't even trying to hide it. Rihanna's halftime show didn't just feel like a performance, it felt like a global event where celebrities got front-row seats to their own obsession. Jennifer Lawrence is another example of someone who is, by every definition, insanely famous, yet completely fell apart meeting Rihanna for the first time. She gushed about the softness of her skin, how amazing she smelled, and the sheer overwhelming feeling of standing next to her, giggly, starstruck, and fully unguarded. A genuinely life-changing moment by her own account. Now let's talk about a few hearts Rihanna has broken along the way. And no, we're not circling back to Drake. We're talking about Kevin Hart. The 2012 MTV Awards. Kevin was hosting the show that night, which means one job above all others. Stay neutral, keep your cool, don't let anyone see you have a favorite. He had a favorite. Finally, we have Sarah Paulson. She was cast alongside Rihanna as one of the lead ensemble in Ocean's 8, a film that also starred Anne Hathaway, Sandra Bullock, and Cate Blanchett. That is not a cast easily intimidated. And yet, Sarah admitted that every single day on set was a quiet personal battle to not embarrass herself. Every time Rihanna walked into the room, the entire energy shifted. Cast members who had just been completely relaxed would suddenly sit up straighter. Everyone felt it. Sarah's personal coping strategy, walking up to Rihanna and pitching her a new song. It did not go the way she planned. It doesn't matter who you are. You can have a shelf lined with awards and more money than you know what to do with.